All right, video number 3, where to invest in real estate. In the last video, I talked about which niche should you specialize in, and the problem was a lot of people are just chasing deals. They're chasing cash flow, investing in areas they probably shouldn't be investing in. In this video, I'll tell you how to find a good area once you've determined which niche you want to specialize in, okay? So the first thing we want to talk about is investing near where you are is best, but it's not always possible. Depending on where you live, you might not live in a good area to invest in real estate in. For example, if you're living in Northern Ontario or Northern Alberta or Windsor, Ontario, for example, there are pockets and ways you can make money in those areas, but they're not the best areas in your province, okay? So if you live in an area that's not doing so well, there's not a lot of industries, not a lot of jobs, it's probably not the best area to put your money in, because remember, we want to make boring and easy money as easily as we can so we can do other things with our life. Travel, have fun, play with family, whatever. So we want our business to be boring. Remember, this is a business. You have to think strategically and how to make your money grow. I know it's easier to invest near where you are, but the truth is, if you live in an area that's not so good, don't be putting your money in that area. It's just not smart. So how do we find a good area? What makes an area good? We want to look for GDP growth in a specific province that's growing faster than the national average of GDP. Now, we know that national averages mean nothing really, especially when it comes to real estate prices. You always hear, the Canadian average home price. That's complete bullshit. There's no such thing as a Canadian average price, not even a such thing as an Ontario average price. It doesn't make any sense. You have to be specific in regions and areas and get the averages on those. But this is a good way to determine where we should at least do more research in before putting our money. So we want to look at provinces that are growing faster in GDP growth than the national average. And then what do you think we're going to do next? We're going to dial it down even more and look for a city where the GDP growth in a city is growing faster than the provincial average. So we're going down, 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 lasering in on a specific area, okay? But what's up with the GDP growth? Why do we care about GDP growth? Well, when GDP growth is growing, it leads to job growth, right? And why do we care about job growth? What happens when there's jobs growing in an area? Population growth happens. What happens when population growth happens? There's an increased demand on rental properties. Now what happens when there's an increased demand on rental properties and people start catching wind of that? Increased prices on real estate. Probably can't read that. My writing is very messy, but that's the reality of how things happen. This is what strategic investors look for, okay? The average people in the newspapers and the media outlets are too late. They catch the wind of this way over here when real estate prices happen in the boom. Then everybody's talking about it. But you're about 18 months to 2 years too late if you really want to catch that big wave. Now, if you're investing in real estate and you're holding it, for 10 years or more, you're going to win pretty much almost any time, especially if you're investing in a good area. But if you really want to catch, the wave before it happens, this is what strategic investors look for. These guys, the average people, start buying over here. You want to start buying over here. So when there's a GDP growth in a province or in a specific area, there's an increase in job growth, which leads to population growth, which leads to increased demand on rental properties. People are moving in for a job, so they don't necessarily want to buy because they haven't been in the area yet. They know nothing about it. So they rent for a couple years first to learn the area. So there's an increased demand on rentals, which leads to an increase in prices in real estate, i.e. your property, okay? So that's how we find a good area. This is universal, pretty much, especially North America, Canada, and USA. This is a universal practice to find out where you should invest and where the trends are going. Where's this city going, right? If I see this happening, you might not want to really invest here, but maybe you start investing here, right? You let the process happen. Your job growth happen. You wait a bit. Okay, it's cool. Once people start really flooding in the area, then you start investing in here, here and here, and then you just catch the wave and you hold it and you wait and you make more money, okay? So once we find out an area, a good city in a province that's growing quickly, we want to specialize. And become the expert. We want to know, so if you're investing in single family, let's say, you want to be the single family expert in Hamilton or Barrie or Kitchener-Waterloo or Fort McMurray or wherever. You want to be the expert. You want to know more than the realtors know when it comes to house prices, home layouts, your ideal clientele who lives in those areas, your renters, the tenants, what kind of people are they? What kind of finishes do they like? You want to know everything about that area so you can just steamroll through it and just do it over and over and over again, because you know exactly what's going to sell for what the tenants are going to pay, what those tenants like in flooring colors and paint colors. So you really want to become the expert. So those are the tips to finding a good area. I hope you learned something. Up next, video number 4.